Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. Welcome to my top 3 favorites in every category, base edition. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. This is a mini series that I'm doing this week over on the channel, where every video going live this week is going to be a top 3 favorite category video, where I'm going to go through all of my favorites in cheeks, base, lips, eyes, both high-end and affordable, so we can get a nice little roundup of all of the things I truly love and adore. And we're kicking things off with number 1, which is everything to do with the base. Before I get to the video, I have a quick announcement that I won't be swatching in these videos. I will have loads of links in the description box down below because I have lots of other content already up with these, including full-on reviews. So with the concealers and foundations that I'm discussing today, I actually have dedicated reviews up where you can see the coverage, the shade match, how it looks like when it's blended, what it looks like with or without the rest of my makeup done, which I think is a lot more informative than a swatch. So that's why I'm going to be linking you to those products down below. I will also have some shopping links in the description box, so if you choose to shop through those links, I could make a small commission, you could help out the channel, and you can have a one-stop shop where you can find all the shopping links for any of the products that are still available. Let's just get to these products. Now, I do have to be very honest here that not for all of the categories I actually have 3 favorites. So that's why I want to kick what I want to kick this video off with, and that's setting spray, because I only have one setting spray I love enough to call it a favorite, and that's the Pretty Fresh from Colourpop. This, I think, is my 4th or 5th bottle, and you can see how much I've used it. It's the only setting spray I keep in my makeup collection. I have MAC Fix Plus lying about as well, but I use it more so to wet brushes than I do to actually mist it all over my face. And I have a mini Urban Decay all-nighter, but that's too strong for me. I have really dry skin, and using something like the all-nighter just sucks the life out of my makeup in an instant. This one doesn't. It's hydrating enough, but it also makes my makeup last longer. It's the best of both worlds to me. So I definitely know that come Black Friday, Colourpop is on the list as one of the brands I would like to purchase something off, just so I can stock up and buy like 2 or 3 of these. This also, setting spray is one of those products that you can get through weirdly fast. But this for me, I can use up in about 9 to 10 months or so, which is a lot slower than a lot of other setting sprays I've tried. So the Pretty Fresh, pretty good price point, does exactly what I needed to do, and cost per wear is incredibly good as well. And then we get to the first step in my makeup routine, which is primer. I have 3 primers from affordable brands for you and 3 primers from more high-end brands. And from the affordable brands, 2 of them are from my use up pile because they're gone. The first up is this thing. First up is this one. This is the Kruidvat Beauty Flash Illuminating Strobing Cream. And this is actually a dupe for one of the products in the high-end category, because I just like these nice, soft, glowy primers. This worked incredibly well, and it is really similar to the MAC Strobe Cream. It does exactly the same thing. It has the same sort of luminosity to it, and it makes my makeup just last a little bit longer. I definitely like glowy primers more so than really mattifying or pore filling ones. So if that's something you're looking for, then I'm not the channel, because I don't really deal with those kind of issues. The Jelly Grip Primer from Essence, I need to repurchase this. I definitely, the next time I go to the drugstore, I need to pick up some of my favorite Essence stuff that is now used up, like this and a mascara that you'll see later in the week. But the Jelly Grip Hydrating Primer is, again, a dupe for a primer you'll see in the high-end category, the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip one. This, of course, already existed from e.l.f. in the Power Grip version, but that gave me allergic reaction. This didn't, and it worked really well. It's exactly like the Milk Makeup. It really is, and it's a fraction of the price. And then I was like, I want to put this product in, but I don't tend to use it as a primer, even though it can be used as a primer. It's the Catrice Soft Glam Filter Fluid. It's of course a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. Again, e.l.f. Halo Glow is another one. For me, this has been the best version of this product. I have mine in 010 Fair Light, another product I want to buy a backup of because I like it so much. On good skin days, I can get away with just wearing this and a bit of concealer. That's it. If I don't want to do much in terms of a base, I can just use this and be good with it. However, like the Charlotte Tilbury, you can use this as primer under makeup, you can use it as a highlighter, or you can use it by itself. So I actually keep this with my foundations, more so than with my primers, but it is a great product and it comes with a ton of like content. Let me see, how much do you get? Yeah, this is 30 milliliters. So it comes with a standard fluid ounce like you do with foundations anyways. So, and this also comes with the doe foot, like the Charlotte Tilbury. The packaging, like the cap on this is a little bit cheap. I'm not sure if you can see, but mine has started to crack, which is why I want to buy a backup of this because I'm not sure whether this is like sealed properly anymore because of the crack. But yeah, I like this better than the original. The shade is a touch lighter than a Charlotte Tilbury. The e.l.f. Halo Glow is just too thick and heavy for my dry skin. This is really nice, lightweight. It has enough pigmentation that it actually covers my redness and it doesn't just make me look super glowy. And then I said already that the two affordable things were dupes, so let me breeze through these. The Milk Hydro Grip. There's a reason why I only have a baby travel version of this. Because this does, it can change color if you leave it around for too long. So I had a big one, but because we now have the e.l.f. one, or the Essence one, I'm like, I'll just repurchase the Essence. I don't need this in my life. So I only bought a small one so I could compare it to the Essence one at the time to see how similar they actually were. That's the only reason why I have that, but I do really like the product. Like if you want to splurge, you can. Or if the Essence one isn't available to you, but the Milk makeup is, then that's one of my favorite primers that really increases the longevity of my makeup, I feel. But if you want to go for something glowy, the MAC Strobe Cream has been a favorite of mine for a while now. This is the unopened full size though. I went through so many travel sizes of this because they would always put it in as an extra with an order, or I would get a freebie with a purchase whenever I bought a lipstick. So I had all these mini things. So I had been traveling with this product for years and suddenly I fell in love with it and I bought the full size. So because I have this, I haven't repurchased the Kruidvat version that I just showed you because I first want to use this up. And I want to use it up and then move to something else kind of primer girl rather than anything else. And I'm currently using the Hyglam Artless Glow Primer, I think it's called. And that again has a very similar effect to this. So I don't feel you need this per se, but it's been a love of mine for years now. My Glossier Future Dew, I haven't used this in a long time though, but it is one that I want to have around because this is so good if my skin is super dry in the wintertime. And it goes really well with some very particular foundations in my collection. So whenever I were to reach for those foundations, like some richer, creamier things, then this can work really well. If things are a little bit drying for me, I like to use this underneath it as well, because this just really, like, it's an oil base essentially. So especially in the winter time when I'm super duper dry and super duper pale, this works marvelously. And that brings me to powder, which in terms of base is my final step. Well, setting spray is, but like in terms of base, but I have more concealers and foundations to talk about than I do powder. With powder, because of my dry skin, I am quite picky. So therefore I've had the same favorites for years. The Essence Skin Loving Sensitive powder. I found that they still do it. I can still link this online, which surprised me because I haven't seen this in store in such a long time, which is why I bought 3 backups because I was afraid they were going to discontinue it. But online you can still find it. It does only come in one shade, which is a shame, but texture-wise, this is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Filter, which I like, but I go through it so quickly. And this lasts longer, it's a fraction of the price, and the shade works for me. So for me, this is one of the best powders I've ever found. Another great powder is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting powder in Diffuse Light. This is just a travel size that's currently in my Shop My Stash because I was traveling so much in August and September. I was like, okay, I'll just put this in my Shop My Stash rather than something else. So you can see this is now well loved, well used. I used up one of these big guys in the past, used it up completely, took over a year, so you do get bang for your buck with these, I feel. But I have found a slightly more affordable alternative, but I love that this comes in the mini version so I can easily take it traveling with me. So that's why I still have this around. But the alternative that I have is by Kiko. It's not this one exactly, but it is again in the Kiko like silver packaging. It's called the Radiant Fusion Powder in shade 1. It's a one-on-one dupe for Hourglass's Diffuse Light. I mean, I like it. For this guy is the Color Correction Face Fixing Powder, and it has these like colorful shades in, so it color corrects at the same time. I just wanted to try it. Texture-wise though, it feels the same way as the Hourglass and the Radiant Fusion. So I think the effect is just going to be different because of the shade difference, but what it does for my skin and how it makes my makeup last, it works better for me. As you can see, no setting powders. As much as I love seeing everybody using loose powders, for me, it A, sets off my allergies because of all the dust, and 2, it always makes my under eye look super dry if I use them, no matter how hydrating they are. I have like 1 or 2 loose powders just to have something on hand, you know, but pressed powder all the way, not setting powders, but finishing powders, so there is still a bit of glow, so my skin looks alive and not like dry and like with all the life sucked out of it. That's how I like my powder. Then we have our concealers. We have affordable concealer first, and then we'll do the high-end things. This technically isn't a concealer, but it's so good that I need to mention it. It's from Catrice. It's their under eye brightener in the shade Light Rose. They also do a peachy yellow version, I think. This is the peachy pink version. Great for correcting the under eye area. It's so, so good. It reminds me a lot of what people have said the Becca under eye primer is like. I saw that product in store. I don't think, now that I've swatched that one, that they're exactly identical, but this is good. This is really good. And it's very affordable as well. And then from the drugstore, I always struggle with concealers having the right undertone, but I do have 2 things that I really like. I have the Kiko Skin Tone Concealer in shade 2, and I have from the same, which is a K-Beauty brand, the Tip Concealer, Cover Perfection Tip Concealer in shade 05. These are pretty much identical, really. The Kiko one, this is my 2nd or 3rd tube of this. Both of them don't come with a lot of product, but shade-wise, coverage-wise, what they do, they work really well. And again, for travel, this little mini guy is so easy to just chuck into a bag, and you know it won't take up too much space, especially with like liquid restrictions. I love this guy. And then for the high-end options, again, I have something in a pot. This is from Glossier. This is their stretch concealer. I have shade G12. They've renamed these since me buying this, so I don't know what the new shade is called at the minute, but they still do this. They just, now that they do the foundation, they've changed the names of the concealer to match up with the foundation, so I don't know. This used to be the lightest shade, but they now do lighter shades than this. I do know that. And this is lovely. I love using this with a color corrector underneath the dough because it's not great for coverage, but especially in winter when my skin is super duper dry from like all the central heating and like the cold weather, this just works really, really well and it looks flawless every single time. This was a complete surprise to me because I struggled finding my shade in this YSL All Hours concealer for sure. This is in shade LC1. And it's still a touch too yellow, but with concealer, I don't mind a slight yellow look, because if it's a little bit yellow, then I find it color corrects my redness a lot better than when it's like my true skin tone color. So I don't mind it if there's a bit of yellow, and this was great. This really reminds me in the way it works of the Dior concealer I used to have. That one was too dark for me, so I decluttered it, but this works really well. And once I started trying this, I didn't want to take it out of my Shop My Stash. But then I was like, realistically, I have so many other concealers to still test out. So I retired it for now, but I know I want to go back to it because it was an instant hit. And then my trusty Tower 28 Swipe Concealer in 3CC. Great shade for me. If it lays down flat, you can like see gaps everywhere. I think I have like used up like close to half of this product because I just love this thing to pieces. I need to go back to it though, but it got too rich for me as spring summer rolled around, so I had to stop using it. But this is a concealer that's actually on my I want to try using it up pile, and I only do it when I truly love a product that I want to stick with it for a very long time to really try and use it up. So I think October is going to be a great time for me to go like roll it back in as the thing I still have in my Shop My Stash, no matter what concealer I want to try out. And that brings me to the final category of this video, which is foundations. And I'm again going to have 3 affordable foundations and 3 expensive foundations, or high-end foundations if you'd want. I think till this day, the Tinted Serum Foundation from Catrice is one of the best things they've done. This is the Nude Drop Tinted Serum in 004N. It's in between a skin tint and a foundation, I find. It still gives me more coverage than the average skin tint, in my opinion. The shade is spot on. The shade range of this was really good. I love the dropper style packaging. It works so well for my skin. I think this is going to be a product I want to put on my use up pile next year. So for 2025, I think I want to put this like in my Shop My Stash continuously, like I've done with a couple of products this year, because I just love it so much. And I just want to make sure I get a lot of use out of this before it expires, or so I can actually use it up. I did declutter the original Insta Moisture foundation from Kiko, but they came out with the glow version and I liked it even more. So it's like, yeah, if I have this glow version, I'm never going to go back to the original. This is a really good medium coverage. The glow version is a more dewy finish. If you like something more satin matte, go for the original version that just has the black cap, but the one with the silver cap is the glow version. I have 1R, which Kiko and complexion products, it all tends to be a little bit yellow. I'm not gonna lie, but for me this works really well with a bit of white mixing medium, or maybe if you like use a little bit of blue in there to cool it up. I think you can even make it work if you're paler and lighter than me. But this is such a beautiful foundation. Really good, affordable, doesn't break the bank. You do get a standard fluid ounce in here, just like any foundation you can buy. And this feels and works as well as so many of the high-end foundations I've tried, that I feel you definitely don't need to splurge on some of the more expensive options I'm about to show you, because this is just as good. And that's something I've said a lot about Kiko in the past, and I still do. Because they are Italian and so much luxury makeup is made in Italy, I very much suspect that Kiko is made in the same factory as a lot of high-end brands, which is why their products are so solid. And then finally, I wanted to throw in something K-Beauty here as well, because I think complexion-wise, K-Beauty has just some of the best options. I'm still in the midst of testing out a lot of the cushion foundations. I still have about 3 of them to try, so end of October, early November, that's when I'll be able to do a full roundup of 12 cushion foundations. So if you want to hear my thoughts, definitely stay tuned. But I do really enjoy this. This is my favorite K-Beauty BB cream that I tried last year and reviewed for you then. I did this entire test of all of these different BB creams, and this one came out on top. I love Misha BB creams. Like, I have 2 of them in my top 3 favorite BB creams, and this is the Chobo Young BB cream. Shade 17, I'm either 17 or 21, 19, sort of like in between that. and especially if they do neutral or cool undertones, they always work for me. This is beautiful. It's very hydrating on the skin. It has an SPF of 30 though, so some BB creams have an SPF of 50. But yeah, this is lovely. I just, again, something I need to go back to at some point. Maybe even use up. Maybe this can go into the use up pile next year as well. We'll see. I definitely still have a bit of work to do though when it comes to using up foundations, because I didn't quite manage with one of the foundations that I said I wanted to use up this year. And case in point, the foundation I wanted to use up this year is one of the more expensive things that I wanted to recommend. And it's this guy, the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue. This, I know when it's gone, I would like to repurchase. But here's what happened to some of my repurchased foundations. I had to declutter them because so many new foundations are being launched all the time, nowhere did I have time to even go back to them. So I gave away some unopened foundations that I had repurchased because I used one up before and loved it so much. But I will miss this if it's gone. You can see how flat it is. So I'm definitely making good progress. But with this, I feel a little goes a long way. So again, in October, I'll probably roll it in. This, like the Tower 28 concealer, became too rich and creamy for like the spring and summer season. So I know now that things are cooling down, I think this is going to work again. So I'll have like another 3 months to use it. Mine is in Porceless 1N0. It's such a good shade match for me. The formula is incredibly hydrating, lovely for my skin in the fall winter season. It's just foolproof. It doesn't oxidize weirdly. It never looks like too much. It's incredibly hydrating, and yeah, I'm gonna miss this one when it's gone. And I think another contender for the use up pile is my Luminous Silk from Giorgio Armani. I'm not sure. There were 2 foundations I said I wanted to use up. And one I was like, okay, one in the first half of the year and the other one in the second half of the year, but I forgot which one it was for the second half of the year. So I think I'm just gonna soldier on with the Estee Lauder and see how far I can get with that. But yeah, the Luminous Silk from Giorgio Armani. It's such a classic. I have mine in shade 3, and this is so good. It's like a medium satin matte coverage, so not exactly what I tend to go for. I tend to love my very dewy things, but this is just so good. It's very long lasting, yet it never looks dry, cakey, or heavy on the skin. Yes, it's expensive, but it's so good, and so many people rave about it for a reason. And the final foundation is a newer love, the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. I have mine in 060 Fair Warm, and it's actually cool toned. So Lady Gaga does what MAC does, where the numbering is the opposite of what you think it's going to be. So if I had bought this online, I would definitely have bought a shade that said cool on the name, but those are actually the yellow tone things. This is really nice pinky tone, and it matches my neck perfectly. And it's one of the pinkiest things I now have in my makeup collection. Again, like the Giorgio Armani, long wearing, medium satin matte, but still with a slight glow to it. So pretty on the skin, wears so well, and it's a really good all-rounder for every single day. So the Haus Labs foundation became an instant hit the minute I tried it. So there you have it. Those were all of the base products I wanted to show you. Come back for more this week, because we still have 3 categories left in my top 3 favorite categories. And that means I have a lot more coming your way, so I'd like to stay tuned for that. And don't forget that I do make regular content on the blog, over here on the second channel, so you can catch me somewhere daily. So I hope to see you there very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.